Hello, how are you? It's Lookman from jacksinspiration.com. Our mission and vision is to empower and inspire generations. We do this by sharing our thoughts, business ideas, mindset issues, and life experience generally. The overall aim is to empower and inspire generations. We have a presence on Facebook. Our Facebook group is Empowerment, Inspiration and Support. Please feel free to join, it's free. And also, this YouTube channel is titled Jack Lookman. And of course, we have our blog, which is jacksinspiration.com, where we aim to add more flesh to what we see on YouTube. There might be the ordinary blog, and there might be ebooks, and hopefully paperbacks. So the ebook, the blog has some of the information, and the ebook has even more information. So please feel free. We are in the process of adding more information and value. Please, if you don't see what you want, please be patient, or just do us a message, and we can prioritize it. My talk today, it's a business idea, and it's about monetizing the Ijebu mindset. If you didn't hear me, it's monetizing the Ijebu mindset. You might ask me, what is Ijebu? What were the Ijebus? Now the Ijebus, they are a subset of Nigerians, a subset of the Yoruba race. They're in the southwest of Nigeria. A group of people, they have their dialect, etc. I'm sure you've heard of Garri, Garri, which is like cassava granules. One of the major exports from the Ijebu area is Garri, and they have other things as well. But more importantly, what's their mindset? Which of their mindsets? Of course, everybody has mindsets, and in every society you have the good, the bad, the ugly. But what I want to talk today about is their mindset. I know some people call them misers, but I don't call them misers. I call them prudent. Now, I'll give you a simple example of an example that happened at my last place of work. There's this guy, nice guy, very hardworking, etc., very focused. He's an Ijebu boy. He does his work diligently, etc. But whereas in my naivety or whatever, like if I wanted to buy snacks, biscuits, etc., if I bought it, or I just put it out for everybody and anybody to eat. But with time, I noticed that people were just taking and they were not giving. And initially I shrugged it off, but later it came to my conscience that people are just taking. And I actually told him face to face that, boy, don't you ever put down anything? Yes, he smiles. Of course I do. The next day he put down something, and I think that was the only time he put it down. But what's the point I'm making? Also, and this guy as well, sometimes when you're purchasing, whatever you're purchasing, when the guy is dressed, he's cha-cha, he dresses very well groomed and all that, goes to the gym, etc. But whereas I may purchase something in the shop, for argument's sake, £100 or something, if he's going to buy it, he might purchase it for £60 or £70. Now, if you prorate that, if he's going to do an internet purchase, maybe a flight ticket or something like that, whereas I may be paying £700 or £600, he might get it for £400 or £500. Now, that's the mindset of an Ijebu mind. They are very, very prudent. They don't just spend their money anyhow. When they save up all this money, they use it for productive things. They don't waste their money on unproductive things. Now, the question is, how does that concern me? How can I monetize this? Now, first and foremost, you may need a media or medium. You might do blogging, you might do vlogging. Vlogging is like video blogging, where you talk like I'm talking now and you record it as a video, etc. You might do ebooks. You might have structured interviews with Ijebus. Of course, like I've said, there are different strands of people. There are some, they are the good, the bad, the ugly, and you have the successful and the unsuccessful. By successful, I don't mean they have to be millionaires, but if they're doing well, then I term them as being successful. If you structure your interview, articulate this into an audio or video. For argument's sake, you book an appointment with the Ijebu person, have structured questions that you've prepared, and interview them. Of course, there'll be a lot of information there. Now you have to articulate this properly. If it's going to be in text, it has to be summarized maybe to 1 or 2 pages. If it's going to be audio or video, then you have to articulate it properly. For argument's sake, you might want to keep them anonymous. You could do the interview and then rescript it. You can do it in your own words, and then that's what you'll be presenting. You just edit it as necessary. Now, of course, like I've said, you might want to keep the interviewees anonymous because most of them probably don't want to show their face. You might also want to incentivize them. Of course, if you ask them, please can you do this, you're going to take their time, spend their time, their money, and you're actually getting something from them. So you might want to incentivize them. Maybe you can give them a gift, maybe you can give them money or whatever, but it's good to incentivize them so that they're able to open up to you. And of course, you tell them what the purpose of what you're doing is. And then, obviously, when you've got all the information, you can publish it. It might be on YouTube like I'm doing. It might be on your blog. It might be on, maybe you might articulate your best works in an ebook or something like that. And then you may want to ask, who will benefit from this? Who would be my audience? Now, there are a lot of people who could benefit from this. Now, for example, in this era of COVID-19, a lot of people have lost their jobs. A lot of people have reduced or no income. Excuse me. Those who have lost their jobs, maybe they were earning 100K, and now they are having to manage on 50K per month or per year. Per year, for example. Obviously, if they continue their former lifestyles, they probably won't be able to make ends meet. So they need to trim their budgets. They might learn 1 or 2 things from your efforts. Those who are facing financial challenges, so like I've said, some people might have lost their jobs, etc., and they have debts, etc. People with that Ijebu mindset, they'll be able to advise you on how to manage your finances, etc. So that, for argument's sake, you go to the shop. Most people who go to the shop, maybe you intend to buy just one item, maybe sugar or something like that. But when you get into the shop, you are tempted to buy one thing or the other, whether it's relevant or not irrelevant. The worst thing is if you go with children, or daddy, I want this, mommy, I want that, and then you're not able to manage. So with the Ijebu mindset, probably the Ijebu mind might ask you, do you really need this? If you don't need it, if you buy it, if you don't buy it, are you going to die? If your answer is no, then probably you don't need to buy it. Or maybe you're somebody who continues stocking up things in the house, things that you don't need, and then after some time it expires and then you throw it away. The Ijebu mind will actually advise on things like this. Also, people who want to know how to optimize money. For example, I've mentioned the example of me buying something and then the Ijebu person buying it maybe at 90% or 80% of the amount that is value for money. So things like that, it can help you to optimize the money you have. Those who need to manage money for others, there are some people, maybe, for example, if you're in a family unit, and for argument's sake, maybe one of you is working and the other one is not working, and you're having to manage money on behalf of the family. If you have that Ijebu mindset, you are able to manage the money further better, and that money goes even the extra mile for you. Those who want to learn to optimize their income, for example, this Ijebu mindset, some people, when they get money, they want to buy a luxury car, the latest television, latest mobile phone, etc. And eventually, what do they use it for? Just the basics. Is it worth spending all that money on just the basics? I mean, for example, in my case, I use a computer, etc., but I use it because I need it and I leverage it to do what I need to do. But for example, if you're buying always the latest computer and the good one, old one is serving your purpose, is there any need for reinvesting in another computer if that one is still good? So you need to, the Ijebu mind will teach you how to optimize that income, how to let that money go further. And don't forget, if you purchase a product from the shop, by the time it gets out of the shop, it probably loses 10, 20, 30% of its value. So after a short period, if you say, oh, I don't like this product anymore, I want to return it, it's not the price you bought it that you'll be getting it for. You'll be getting it for a much reduced price, so it's actually lost by the value. And then those who want to optimize their resources, I know I mentioned money earlier, but if you have resources, maybe you have, if you're an employer, you have staff, if you are a parent, you have children, etc. Or if you have money and you have dependents who are always asking you for money, that Ijebu mind would train you to optimize those resources. Those dependents who are always asking and asking and asking, the Ijebu mind would tell you to help them get a job. And if they haven't got a job, you can find work for them to keep them occupied. And if they don't get a job, you give them work to do, so that whatever money you are giving them, they are actually working for it. At some point, you're actually nudging them indirectly. At some point, they'll get tired of asking from you. They get very embarrassed asking from you. And then you're actually empowering them because they'll go out and do something to earn their income. So that way you're optimizing the resources. You might ask the question, if I have to do this job, do I need to travel to every Ijebu person's house to do the interview and all that? The answer is probably not. It's something you can do over the phone. It can be over a telephone call. It can be through Skype. It can be through Zoom or wherever. You don't necessarily have to be there. The important thing is that you're asking the right questions, and as they are answering the questions, if that brings other questions, note them down and ask. But the important thing is that you record the interview either in writing or through an audio medium or something like that, so that you don't list the information, and then you record the information and articulate it properly and then present it. What skill base do you need? Basically, you need to be good at interviewing. You need to know the right questions to ask. And like they say, perfect practice makes perfect. And in the process of doing this over and over, you get even better. So you ask the right questions and you prepare your questions beforehand so that you don't miss out on anything. Don't rely too much on your brain, especially if you're an older person, because your brain can disappoint you at any time. You might forget to ask the right question at the right time, and that opportunity might be gone forever. Like I've said, these Ijebu people, their time is very important to them. They're very positive people, etc. So if they give you that, if they give you 1 hour of their time, for example, you should value it. Otherwise, you might need to go back on the queue and do that. So yes, you need to have interviewing skills. On your phone, you need to know how to record, how to record whatever you're recording, or if it's going to be your computer. What else would you need? You have to have interpersonal skills. You are good customer services skills. You are the one seeking something from those people, from the people. So you don't become rude, even when they answer you in a rude way or anything like that. You have to keep your composure. You have to manage the situation. You don't insult them, and you have to ask good questions. Don't just ask stupid questions. Questions that are relevant to what you're doing. So and then of course you should be able to articulate this properly. If you cannot articulate it in writing or if you cannot produce a video or audio with the information, You might want to partner with somebody who will do that bit for you, and as long as you're able to present it properly, that's the most important thing. You know, like I've said, you do the recording. After recording, you get out the juice out of the interview, and then you either record it in your own words by doing like what I'm doing, or you can do it on an audio, or you can do it in text format and do it on a blog or an ebook. Those are some of the skills I can think of, and you have to be a pleasant person as well, otherwise people will run away from you. Must it be in English? No, no, no. You can do it in your language if you want, or if you have other languages you might want to use. The important thing is that you're communicating with people, and then you have a platform from which you are communicating the information. So if, for example, your listeners or your audience are Yorubas, for example, then you can do it in Yoruba. If it's in French, do it in French. Whatever language, just do it in whatever language suits you. And if you like, you might do it in your language or whatever language. And if you see it's popular, you might actually do it in different languages, and that's where you have multiple income streams. Whether you need to do it as a full-time job or as a side hustle, that depends. Initially, test the waters. I would suggest you do it as a side hustle first. You have your full-time job, and you do this as a hobby or as a side hustle. If it keeps improving and the income is good, then maybe you can make it a full-time job, and then you can explore your potentials. Other benefits that you might derive from this, you will learn interpersonal skills, or it will improve your interpersonal skills, how to relate with people. For example, if you are rude to someone and it dresses you down, and you do it to number 2, and eventually you lose your clientele, then that means you have something to work on, maybe your interpersonal skills. Interviewing skills are also important. The way I go about interviewing, I prepare my list of questions, and then I start asking those questions as we talk. So, and as we are talking, maybe one question might stimulate other thoughts. I write everything down, and I keep asking other questions until I get most of the information I like. And I know this is an interview, supposed to be an important or business interview, but you can also interject a bit of humor as well, so that it makes the interview a bit more lively. Also, you can get networking opportunities. If you're good at what you're doing, people will feel happy to be part of that program or part of that business. So, for example, you've interviewed different Ijebu people. Of course, they're anonymous. There might be other people that might actually want to be part of that success story. And in the process of them being part of it, you're increasing your network, and not just network of just anybody, but network of successful people. Another thing before I forget, I've mentioned the word Ijebu, but this is just a small niche. You might have this type of thing for different niches. I've just mentioned the Ijebu people. There might be people from different localities or different niches that have something positive to offer. You can replicate this process with them as well. And then also another benefit you might derive, you might get their potential financial rewards. For example, if you're doing it on YouTube, for example, if you make up to 1,000 subscribers and up to 4,000 hours plus in the last 1 year, you could actually monetize your YouTube channel. If you're doing it and you can also, on YouTube, you can also do a bit of affiliate marketing and all that. You can have your blog whereby you write most of this stuff for those who want to read. And if you generate a wide audience, you can actually market products and services on your blog as well. Affiliate marketing, you might sell your own products and services, you might do sponsorship deals and so on, advertisements and all that. And if you're going to do ebooks, if your ebook is of high value, people from all over the world could have access to it. People in China, New Zealand, America, etc. They can all have access to your book if it's of high quality. And the good thing about the ebook is that it can be downloaded anywhere where there's internet. So that's another thing. Also, it could open opportunities. In my little experience in life, sometimes I start one or two things, but but somewhere along the line other opportunities come up. I want you to look at it from the viewpoint of a prospective corn, somebody who is growing corn or maize. Yes, he may grow the maize with the intention that people should eat maize, maybe they boil it or roast it, for example. But with maize, it has loads of byproducts. From maize, you can do your cornflakes. From maize, you can do your pap. I think it's even used as a fuel as well. And I'm sure if you research it properly, you can have other byproducts. It's the same thing with this idea. You know, you start with what you're doing. Along the line, other opportunities will come up, and then it's up to you to take them up, or maybe to do joint ventures, etc. Also, another potential benefit of doing this type of product is self-development. In the process of doing it over and over again, you are actually improving yourself. Apart from learning from the process, apart from learning from the value they're giving, by the time you're writing or doing your videos, etc., along the line you're going to learn one or two things, and you know, you might decide maybe later on you might become a public speaker, you might become a writer, etc., etc. You are actually developing yourself, and in the process of doing what you're doing, maybe you might be on a particular level and you want to take it to the next level. You might want to research what successful people in that type of trade are doing, and maybe you read up or you watch videos or things like that, and you improve yourself. So there's a lot of self-development that comes with it, and so on and so forth. But now to the crunch, the key question: how can I monetize it? Basically, what I would suggest is that you should research how you can monetize on YouTube. If you go on YouTube, you can put in "how can I monetize YouTube," and I'm sure a lot of videos will come up, and you can get information from that. You can monetize on Facebook, for example, on social media. Like I said again, go to YouTube or Google, how can I monetize Facebook? You get loads of information, and you can take whatever suits you. On Facebook, you have your Facebook page, your Facebook profile, Facebook group, etc. So you can learn on how to monetize each and all of them. Different social media platforms, Pinterest, Instagram, etc. TikTok, and all of those things. You can find out how you can monetize them. Blogs, you know, through affiliate marketing, product and services marketing, etc. You can find out how you can monetize. There's loads of information on the internet, on YouTube, on Google, etc. You can find out a lot of those information. Or you can even buy books where you can actually get information on how to do that. Also the ebooks, how you can monetize them. On Amazon at the moment, I think you can actually publish ebooks and paperbacks for free. So if you go to Amazon, I think it's called KDP Direct or something like that, or if you Google how can I monetize, how can I publish a book on Amazon, you know, if you put that on YouTube, for example, or on Google, it will tell you how to do it, and then you can follow up on it. So you can get information on most of this information on YouTube, Google, and even from books. You can buy books, ebooks, or paperbacks, etc. These are my little thoughts. My name is Lookman. I hope it's been beneficial. My blog, my website is jacksinspiration.com. And our mission and vision is to empower and inspire generations. This YouTube channel is called Jack Lookman, and our Facebook group is Empowerment, Inspiration and Support. I hope this has been of great value. Thank you very much for your time, and I look forward to you joining us on our various platforms. Please remember to like and share this video, and to subscribe as well, and let it reach people who it will benefit. People who will enjoy it and who will benefit from it. It's bye for now. Everything good thing must have an end. This is the end of today's video. Have a nice day. Ireo. Thank you very much.